A possible COVID exposure shuts down a campus organization. Get the details next. Hear about the bold vision for UTC's future unveiled in the Chancellor's State of the University. Plus, a student talks about the pride in his home country, Kenya. I'm Madison Toon, and your news starts now. A possible COVID exposure shuts down a UTC campus organization. Case investigators revealed that students and community members may have been exposed to someone during their infectious period. That time span was from Monday, September 7th to Friday, September 11th. The center is located at 609 Houston Street on the west side of campus. UTC health officials are working together with the Chattanooga-Hamilton County Health Department to contact trace in this case. Students may contact the Office of Student Outreach and Support by phone at 423-425-2299 or email at sos@utc.edu if they need assistance. Let's take a look at the UTC dashboard for COVID. We are down to 66 active cases. The number of closed cases now stands at 314. Be sure to wear your Parisi mask and stay 6 feet apart. This week, the CDC said the most effective way to protect against COVID is to wear a mask. CDC Director Dr. Robert Redfield says wearing a mask is a must until a vaccine is widely available. That may be next spring or summer. UTC Chancellor Steve Angle outlined a bold vision for our university. He unveiled the details in his annual State of the University. Angle says by this fall, all university freshmen will have an immersive experience their first year. That year will be tailored to help determine what learning path the student wants to take. Chancellor Angle used Chattanooga's Walnut Street Bridge as an example.
As educators, we are always looking for teachable moments, and our history provides many, even when the lessons are painful and take decades to learn. Chattanooga takes pride in the Chattanooga Renaissance and the impressive redevelopment along the riverfront. The community took risks and held its head high. The Walnut Street Bridge is an example of how Chattanooga took what could have been a physical eyesore and turned it into a source of pride. But we failed to address the painful history of the lynching of 24-year-old Ed Johnson by a white mob on that bridge in 1906. A monument is being constructed to ensure we never forget what happened and we never repeat the past. The Walnut Street Bridge provides an opportunity for a teachable moment. Stiles Hutchins was Mr. Johnson's lawyer. Knowing the history, City of Chattanooga Mayor Andy Burke, the Chamber of Commerce, and the Urban League created the Stiles Hutchins Fellowship, mobilizing UTC students of color to develop ideas that will inspire diverse talent to live and work in Chattanooga. An unimaginable horror paves the way for education and opening the door of opportunity for those who have been excluded from the Chattanooga Renaissance.
You can see the entire address on mocsnews.com. A UTC student got to share his love of his homeland, Kenya. I got to talk to Maxwell Omwinga. Here's his story. So tell me about your upbringing and the culture and everything that you as a child up to now, right?
Yeah, I'm born of Kenya, born and bred in Kenya, but actually part of my life I also lived in Uganda, but most of it was in Kenya. So I was born in Nakuru. It's a small town, maybe I think it's the 4th or the 5th big town in Kenya. And I have 5 siblings. I have 4 brothers and one sister, and I'm right in the middle there, somewhere in the sandwich, two up, three down, so right in the middle there. So growing up in Kenya was a very nice experience. I just still miss home, the food, the culture, just playing games and with family and neighbors and friends, and just having Kenya is a very God-fearing country, and I just love to be part of that, where we have a sense of community, a sense of belonging, not only from a family sense but also from a spiritual sense, which is also good. Then, as I just mentioned earlier, just growing in Kenya, went through high school, then went to Uganda for college. But all through my kindergarten, elementary, and high school, had a very interesting journey. And I remember my dad taking me to school and with my mom. And he had a way of doing it that he'll take us to school the first day of school and say, "Did you see the journey back home? See you back home in the evening." Wow, that was a tough decision then. We were about 12 years old, so we weren't that young, so we could actually figure out the way back. And that kind of just say that Kenyan are resilient people. We like challenges. And I remember one day that first day of school, and we just had to walk back with my brothers before us. We're walking down the streets, crossing the road safely, of course. And we made it back home safely. Like, oh, guys, you made it. Cool. Now you know your way back home.
Yeah.
So in a way, let me say, we were brought up in a very responsible way. We were brought up in a way that was very respectful. And just being here and far away from home just made me homesick. But thanks to technology, we can now communicate through FaceTime, through Zoom, actually, and even WhatsApp. So, global village right now.
A celebration of labor in our area honors our past while looking to the future. Our Marlon Carter tells us how.
A group of all kind of different unions and organizations got together and celebrated Labor Day Parade for the union workers and learning about the history of labor movement. The event took place in Tennessee River Park. We had guest speakers from the organization who were speaking about how we fought for civil rights and living wages. One of the speakers was the president of Labor City Council Union, Michael Starling, who spoke about being in the union for 15 years and how the labor unions are treated.
We as labor unions, trades, and labor in general don't usually get the celebration that we so deserve in our hard working efforts. So today is just a celebration and a recognition for all labor.
Virgil Hayes, who is the president of United Steelworkers Union, Local 15120, mentioned it's great for labor union members to get together and see what labor unions is all about.
People that came before us fought real hard for the labor movement, for a Labor Day, for a day to celebrate labor. And we have to be able to pass this along to the younger people who don't understand what it's all about. They don't understand that the fight for labor haven't stopped. We have to keep going with this because labor is under attack again. So now it's up to this next generation to stand and fight for labor. And that's kind of what this is all about here, for us to show them, that we believe in labor, we believe in unions, and our younger people have to join and do the same thing.
There were many people from different organizations mingling, talking, and getting to know one another, many of whom are members of more than one organization.
As colleges all over the campus enter the red zone, the Center for Student Wellbeing is encouraging students to stand with victims of sexual abuse. The red zone carpet signing allows students to pledge their support and be an active bystander and act to stop possible instances of sexual abuse. After signing their name, students can get more resources and even a free shirt. Megan McKnight from the Center for Student Wellbeing is hopeful that this will spread awareness and encourage students to act as an advocate for their friends and family.
So we do this during the red zone. The red zone is a time from freshman move-in until Thanksgiving break that statistically the most number of campus sexual assaults occur, particularly among college freshmen. So we're doing this now, trying to engage folks on our campus in being an active bystander, stepping up when they see someone whom they believe may be at risk for sexual assaults on our campus. So they're signing this carpet. They're saying they are going to step up. They're going to intervene. They also are going to talk with me. They sign a pledge a little bit about what they actually can do. What does it look like to step up and end campus sexual assault, some tangible things. So we have a MSW student worker here with us today. We also have our campus advocate from the Center for Women and Gender Equity here today, talking about her services and how she can support survivors on our campus. So we're just trying to get the word out, especially during the red zone. You can make a difference in someone's life. You can practice good consent. You can have good conversations with your peers about what that looks like, and you can ultimately end campus assault.
Cleveland Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield found Odell Beckham Jr. and maybe some of his missing swagger. Mayfield threw 2 touchdown passes and Nick Chubb ran for 2 scores. That was enough for the Cleveland Browns to give Coach Kevin Stefanski his first NFL victory Thursday night by beating the Cincinnati Bengals 35-30 on the NFL's 100th birthday. Down by 14 in Game 1, the Miami Heat found a way. Down by 17 in Game 2, they did it again Thursday night. And after making the Boston Celtics lose another big lead, the unhurdled Heat are 2 wins away from the NBA Finals. They beat the Celtics 106-101. You can find out about our past for a better understanding of different cultures and people. Our Jake Refren produced this story about the archaeology open house at UTC.
Hey Mocs, I'm Dr. Smith here from the Jeffrey L. Brown Institute of Archaeology on campus at UTC. And today we're having our open house in the lab. True arrowheads are like, yeah. So what I do as an archaeologist is I study past peoples through their material remains. And so we have some of that on display here today. We have artifacts from Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, Alabama, all kind of spread out with nice little tags to tell you a little bit about them. And my research specifically focuses on some of the earliest peoples to come into the continent. So we're talking about populations that immigrated into the United States during the last ice age. I specifically study how they kind of adapted to a changing landscape at the end of the last ice age, where they settled, and how they lived.
That's this edition of Mocs News. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to keep up with us on our Facebook page, and we are also on Twitter and Instagram. Have a great weekend.